What does a 15-hour flight, appetizer, grapetizer, Malva pudding, worship, beautiful people, and an amazing God have in common? But we're going to get into it today on episode 16 of TC Talks. I want to talk to you about the global effect. Let's get into it.
We got the passion, we got the drive. Regular people living real lives. And this is TC Talks. This is TC Talks. This is TC Talks. And this is TC Talks.
Well, hey, what's up, my good people? What's going on? This is TC here on TC Talks. Another wonderful episode 16. Yeah, man, we are kicking and screaming here on TC Talks. We're at episode 16, and thank you for tuning in. All of those new subscribers, hey, welcome. New viewers, welcome. But listen, you got to do me a tremendous favor. If you have not subscribed to the TC Tribe, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, and every time we go live, you'll be the first one to be notified when fresh content hits the channel. We're so glad to have you. And all of the returning TC Tribers, man, I appreciate you. Y'all are awesome. You are amazing, man. And I just thank God that y'all keep coming back and checking out the podcast. Listen, you don't have to watch, you don't have to listen, but because you keep coming back, must be something good here for you. And as long as you keep coming back, I'll make sure I'm here to talk to you, and let's have good conversation here on TC Talks. Because you got to remember, we are just regular people living real lives. Yeah. All right, y'all, let's get into episode 16, the global effect. Now, for those who've been following and watching, here recently, I've had the distinct honor and privilege of going to South Africa, Johannesburg, South Africa, and it was an absolute amazing trip. Listen, I just got to dedicate this podcast, first of all, to my amazing wife who allowed me to go almost 9,000 miles away. That's the furthest that we have ever been apart since we have been together, 28 years together, 27 married, man. And so I just got to give her a big props for allowing her honey bunches of oats. That's what she called me. Hey, she called me that. Yeah, I'm going to let her keep on calling me that because I like cereal. She let me go that far. We was gone 7 days, man. But when we go back, baby girl definitely is going back with me. So absolutely. So I got to give her a shout out to that. Then I got to give a shout out to my brother and good friend, pastor in the gospel, Bishop Stephen A. Davis. He invited me on this trip, y'all. I went to go and minister at their amazing church in Birmingham, Alabama, Refresh Family Church. And after ministering, and we're sitting at the restaurant about to go to the airport to come back to North Carolina, he asked me, he said, hey, TC, you ought to go with me to South Africa. And I'm like, oh, man, that's good. And it was like the next month. And so the next day, my office got the information, and it was like, hey, Bishop TC, did you say yes to this? One thing led to another, man, and I'm on a 15-hour flight with him to Johannesburg, South Africa. And I also got to dedicate this to Bishop Lazarus and Mom Neela and the Lazarus family, and also Pastor Adrian and his lovely wife, Lady Jacobs, and Pastor Manuel, man, and Lady Fiona. And I got to give a shout out to our driver for the week, Pastor Marcus. Yes, yeah, man. Listen, everybody was just so amazing. And it was crazy. And you're like, TC, why are you dedicating a podcast to this? Because let me tell you something. In just this short statement, it was life-changing for me. It really was. And if you follow me, you understand I teach the E3 method and the E3 framework and the E3 principles. And the first E is exposure. God, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And I'm telling you, I've been back home now almost 3 weeks or so, and I still cannot get that experience out of my head. it has been burned into my consciousness in a great way. Um, we did some wonderful things. You know, we went to Soweto, to the Mandela House, and we went to the Lions Park, saw some beautiful, beautiful creatures there, man. Didn't get too close, but I saw them. And I'm gonna pop a picture up as while I'm talking so you can see that. But man, I'm telling you, it was absolutely life changing. And the worship was absolutely beautiful, and the Word of God was amazing. And I'm telling you, and the reason why I'm talking to you about this is because you can be set in your myopic view of the world, and you will think that your context is the entire world. How wrong we are, and how limited our thinking is if we think that. And I'm telling you, that flight is almost, I've looked at the flight track, it's almost halfway around the world. And I'm like, man, it was so amazing. First of all, um, when we landed and they greeted us, Bishop Lazarus and the staff greeted us. They were sitting at Nando's, and we had just ate on the plane before we landed, and I understand Nando's is a staple in South Africa, and the chicken is amazing and everything, and I couldn't eat, and they kept offering and offering and offering, and I was like, man, I don't want to seem like I'm off-putting, but I literally could not eat another thing because we literally just got off the plane, and they served us right before we landed, and so, but anyway, that's just the beginning. But I did take two drinks with me. You heard me say it earlier. I took a grape tizer and an appetizer. Now, those are just apple juice, man, and grape. There's more than just apple juice and grape juice, man. It's wonderful. But the appetizer is my favorite. My wife likes the grape tizer. I've already ordered her some and got her some at the house, and so she loves that. But anyway, we get to the hotel, and if Pastor Age and them are watching this, and this is gonna trip you out. They give us the key to the hotel. Now I've gone different places, several places, and have the opportunity to minister and to speak in several places. And they always put a gift basket in your room, for the most part, and I'm used to that. And I saw a card there, and what got me in the hotel room that really, really, really resonated with me. It was not the gift basket. It was not the snacks. It was not the room. It was not the hotel. It was two words that were on the card that they wrote a note to me when I got there. And the two words were, welcome home. My friends, when I read those two words, I've read them in several letters in several places, and people actually said it here in the States several times, but for some reason, in South Africa, when I got there and I read those two words, I literally felt like the warm love of a person's embrace, man, by reading those words. I'm like, man, what in the world is this? Now, mind you, no, I've never been. They've never met me. I'm a guest of Bishop Davis, and so any hospitality they're extending to me, they're extending because of him. Well, that's what I thought initially. Because here in the States, man, we are very closed off. We're very even segregated amongst our own ethnicity because it depends on, how much you make, where you live, and those things. A lot of factors play into that, and you may not agree with that wholeheartedly, but I'm just saying what through my experience. So I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm just sharing an experience with you. And so when I get there now, in the church context, here in the States, it's different. So when you start and get to backroom access and quote VIP treatment, quote unquote, it's a little different here. You gotta know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, and I've been in places and been in summits and conferences and and galas and gatherings, and if you're not in the in crowd, then you just attend the event, and you eat the dinner that they serve you, and you mingle while the people are in the room, but you don't get invited to the back room because your status does not quite qualify you to be in the back room, or nobody quite knows you well enough to put you in the back room. And so coming from that, I had that mindset when I landed in South Africa. And so I'm like, okay, I'm just a guest of Bishop Davis, and so I'm just going to like play to the back, and and I'm going to be nice, I'm going to be cordial. But the moment that I met Bishop Lazarus, Mom Neela, and their staff in the airport at Nando's, it's like that wall started coming down quickly, brick by brick, because I'm like, hey man, they really like genuinely are treating me well and hardly even know me. So the next day, that Wednesday, was the first full day there. And well, my sleep time was off because they're 6 hours ahead of us. And so I thought I was just gonna go to sleep regularly. Man, I slept almost 12 hours. They downstairs waiting for the ride for me and everything. I'm like, wow. But anyway, we had a great day with Pastor Marcus. Pastor Marcus took us to Soweto, went through the Mandela House, man, and he took us to get some good old street food. It was great, man. But let me tell you, that night before the worship service started, Bishop Tudor Bismarck was a guest for 2 nights. But that night before the worship service started, Pastor Adrian and his lovely wife Geneva invited us to their home. You're like, TC, what's so special about going to somebody's house? Okay, didn't I just tell you the context that I came from? If you didn't know the who's who, if you weren't somebody that was perceived as wildly successful, you didn't get that type of invite. I've even had the experience where, it's so secretive, people can't tell you where they're going because you didn't get the invite themselves. So that's the context that I'm pulling information from. So that's where my mind is. And so when we get invited to Pastor Adrian's and Sister Geneva's home, I'm like, oh, what's going on? So I'm still trepidatious. I'm still closed in. I'm sitting down at the couch. They offer me water. Like, sure, drink some water. Even with the food, I'm being very cautious. I'm taking just a little bit because I don't want to seem out of pocket. Because I'm like, hey, I'm a guest of Bishop Davis. And so as the evening goes on, then here comes Malden, and here comes Malcolm, and they introduce me to their wives, and then I meet Jordan, Marlene's son, and then I meet the Jacob's daughters, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is starting to feel like family in this short amount of time. Well, I think the globalness is starting to take effect. And I'm like, okay, hold on, because maybe I'm just a guest, and they just treating me like this, and I'm like, Then I noticed that Bishop Lazarus, he's making sure that I'm okay, and Pastor Adrian and Geneva and even the kids are coming and making sure if I'm needed. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not quite used to this, because even though we got this Holy Spirit in us, in the church context, if you've had a little bit of church hurt, you become skeptical of people's niceness. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, okay, this is real. And so now, Malcolm and Malden are introducing their wives, and they're just, having a good time, being cordial, and just bringing me in. And before that night was over, I felt like I've known them for 10 years. And so then we go to worship at Siloam Brakpan. I got to say that, Pastor Adrian. Brakpan, yes. And that's the main campus. And I was privileged to minister at Siloam Edenville with Pastor Manuel and Lady Fiona. Oh, they treated me wonderful as well. But we get to the worship service, and the worship is phenomenal. Bishop Tudor Bismarck preached an amazing word, and I'm thinking that the hospitality is probably going to go down a notch. Oh, but it did not. It went up another notch or 12. And so, and you know, uh, Bishop TC, you need anything? Come on, let's go over here. Let's go over here. Let's do this. Let's do that. I'm like, oh my goodness. Have a seat here. I'm like, man. And I had to ask the question. I said, man, I said, Pastor Marcus, do y'all do this all the time? He said, we do it all the time, Bishop. Now, I don't know how well my South African accent is, but you know, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. So y'all can judge it all you want to. I'm gonna try it. You know why? Cause I can. But man, it just blew the doors off. And then I think what really got me is Saturday, because Bishop Davis was ministering that Saturday night. He took it easy that Saturday, and Malden and his lovely wife Natasha came and scooped me up from the hotel and took me to lunch at Santon. And took me around the mall, and I even got some gear and stuff from there. He took me to the Formula One store. Oh man, that was amazing. Gave me a nice steak lunch sitting right there in Mandela Square with a beautiful view of the Mandela statue. It was. They didn't have to do that. They could have just left me in the hotel. I could have went downstairs and grabbed something, eat just fine, and went back up and watched TV and did whatever until service that night. But they came and they took their time to host me. And I'm just a guest of Bishop Davis. And so that really, it really just spoke something to me, like, man, like these people really, they really love you. And so I'm like, wow. And so now by this time I feel like I've known them 20 years. And so, and they bring me back, and then here it is, 4 o'clock, we go in and we eat dinner together again. And I'm like, wow. And they're just explaining the food, and they even knew that I didn't like eat seafood, and they gave me the non-spicy dishes, the lamb and the beef and the what is it, the burrata, I think that's what it is. Yeah, if I'm wrong, please correct me. The chicken dish, and I'm like, yo, this is before church. I said, man, I gotta make sure I don't go to sleep in service. What in the world? But anyway, and so that it was amazing to me. And one thing that I noticed, and this is what I want to drop on you because I know our time is about short. I'm riding around Johannesburg, and I'm looking at different places and businesses and even residential areas, and I noticed that every home had a wall and a gate, and either had jagged sharp metal at the top of the walls or electric wiring to protect their homes, because they told me that the unemployment rate there is 40%. So crime and theft is pretty high. And I'm like, wow. I said, okay. So even like the regular common home has a gate around it, walls around it with the electric wiring at the top or the metal, like I just said. And I'm like, man, it seems pretty secure around here. Well, here in the American context, we don't have nearly as many structures wall and gated and secured like I witnessed in Johannesburg, South Africa. But here is the caveat, or the irony of the situation, is that even though they have more walls, they seem to be more open. But here at home, we seemingly have less walls, but yet more closed in, more to ourselves, more or less likely to speak to our neighbor, more or less likely to help somebody on the side of the road who has a flat tire or something like that. And I'm like, man. And one word came to me: culture. Culture. Now, I didn't come back home on a South African high. That's not what this is. But I just realized that the world was bigger than my address. The world was bigger than my circle. The world was bigger than my experience. And what trumped whatever experience that I deemed to be negative was global exposure. There's people halfway around the world loving each other. I'm not saying that they don't have problems, but can I tell you something? The entire time that I was there, I did not hear one word of negativity. And I came back and I asked the good Lord to forgive me. And immediately within the culture of our ministry, we adopted a zero tolerance policy for negativity. Because I've learned that, listen, the more positive you are, it keeps the cortisol levels down. It releases the dopamine, the endorphins, and makes your body feel better, make you feel better, make you look younger. I know I don't look 50 years old. You know why? Because I smile all the time. No, God is good. God is good, y'all. I'm just messing today. But yeah. And so it was amazing. The experience was amazing. And I look forward to going back. I want to take my family back. I do. Because it's just, it caused me to appreciate my wife more. Not that I didn't appreciate her before I left, but I appreciate her more. I appreciate my son more, my father. I appreciate the members of Power Nation more. I appreciate my business mentees more. I appreciate those who interact with me on any kind of level, the friends, the brotherhood, the brotherhood that I have, those who are deemed to be sisters and brothers, man. I appreciate them because it lets me know, man, I was thinking too small. I was being too apprehensive for nothing. And yeah, it has helped me out a lot. It has helped me out a lot. And so on our way out, we stopped by another one of the family members' homes, Malcolm. And I was talking to Mom Neela, which is Bishop Lazarus' wife, Malcolm's mother, and I said this. I said, Mom Neela, I said, I hope you guys like me. And she looked at me and she said, like you? Oh no. We love you. And I had to turn my head real quick because I felt the sentiment. Because that's what they've been showing all week long. They were not empty words. They put action behind those words the moment my foot hit the soil of South Africa. And that's what I want to encourage you to understand. Do not allow a myopic view of one experience to cause you to live your life one way your entire life. This world is massive. And God has put some things in place, people in place, experiences in place for you, watch this, not to build a cave with your clay, but to go out and build a castle with it. Because castles have more than one room. And you were meant and designed to affect this world in a great way outside of your personal address. So anyway, that's the global effect for me. That's the global effect for me. And I hope my conversation with you and sharing this with you has helped you to see just a little bit bigger and a little bit brighter, and to know that there's somebody really halfway around the world that can't wait to meet you, to love on you in a way that you didn't think could be possible. And they're not even kin to you, but yet they're family. All right, man, this is episode 16, Bishop TC. But before I go, all around the world, I want to say, remember, live a life so that others can say. Now that right there, me and you, that is hope in motion. All right, my friends, I'm loving you to pieces. And until our next episode, I'll talk to you soon.